Welcome to the City of Laconia Conservation Commission meeting for Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. It is 6:02. I'm Dean Anson.
Bob Harrington.
Bob?
Lisa Moore.
Jen Kreitzer.
Ray Draper.
Okay, so our recording secretary is Mr. Draper. So we're going to salute the flag first.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So far. Okay, so Gray is our staff in attendance. Thank you, Gray. Okay, so we have the minutes from September 17th.
I move we accept the minutes of September 17th as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any comment? Any comments?
I messaged, Gray, I messaged you about the,
Yes.
And I think Gray incorporated the comments, right?
Yep.
Because I gave you some comments, Jen gave you some comments.
Yeah, so when I put it up, it's the original draft version, but it's been updated online, so.
Okay. Okay. So, any comments?
I think I'm good.
Okay, so all in favor of accepting the minutes as presented? Say aye. Oh. Okay. New business. Pickerel is spelled wrong. Oh, these are the ones you already corrected?
Yep.
Okay, so pickerel and pickle.
Yep.
No more pickle
No
pond?
more pickle.
Pickle pond has been packed. Okay. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you. Okay. Do we have any DES applications?
No
Okay.
applications as of now.
Okay. Okay, so the Gale Avenue Rain Garden is about half planted.
Half blended.
Half planted. Thank you, Jen. Half planted. And there are at least 2 master gardeners that are coming tomorrow morning, and we're gonna do some more planting and try to get it wrapped up, so.
Yeah, we would have the one rainstorm of the month just before.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I measured 2 inches there at
Yeah.
Taylor, yeah.
I think we could use a couple more.
Oh, well, certainly, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so that's the status. Can you think of anything else? So residents that have come by while we're down there working made positive comments. So, we'll see. Okay.
We're losing some residents on Winnequa Ash.
Oh, really?
Brailers are headed for North Carolina, I believe it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've been trying to sell their house for quite a long time.
They have waterfront there?
Yeah, we're waterfront on
Yeah,
Winnequa Ash.
that's it. That's the problem out there. Okay. Anyway, so that's the status of Rain Garden. Hopefully it will be done within the next week or so. Okay, so, water sampling of tributaries. We're done for the year?
I am confirming that with Liam just to see if he wants us to go out for October, but if he doesn't, then yes, we're done for the year.
Okay, so, okay,
Then I'll just have
Any,
to arrange.
any water on the
equipment.
tributaries?
Barely. Yeah. About half of them.
yeah. Uh, May have changed with the rain, but I don't know.
When I went past Mosquito Bridge yesterday, 2 days ago,
Right,
the sandbar rocks were sticking up out of the water.
yeah,
Oh,
Wow.
In
Yeah.
Winnisquam, yeah.
oh, yeah. And they just, Lisa sent out an email.
Mm-hmm.
No, she sent it to you and you sent it out, Gray, saying that they're gonna draw down the lakes.
Yeah.
Really? So Lisa, when they draw down the lakes, what they do is they take them down to a certain level?
I believe there's a
Yeah.
preset
Yeah.
level, yeah.
So if it's already at that level, then
Organic.
that's it. It's
So
organic?
Is that your understanding, Bob, that if they're already at that level, they do nothing?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that. Okay, Gray, did you get anything on the drinking water project?
I did not,
Okay,
but I did not reach out to Laura Demir. So let me do that. Let me reach out to her. And
To-
also, well, so I thought last meeting you said you were maybe reaching out to Ben.
yeah, and
Over
I'll
at
reach out to
Walmart.
Ben, because I don't want Laura to charge us.
Right.
So
Right.
I'll reach out to Ben.
That's yeah.
Sorry, I skipped my mind. Okay. So I talked to the Assistant Scoutmaster, asked him if the scout troop could install the signs, and he told me to call Glenn Smith, which I did not do, so I'm sorry about that. Okay. So Lisa, how many, there are 5 signs?
I think so. Deb was really the one heading that up. I only know about the one that I got, that I still have. It's different than the others.
Okay,
I believe there are 5 though.
okay, I think that's right. Okay. Okay, did everybody have a chance to review the proposal that was sent in by FB Environmental and then do the ranking? That's the last page.
I looked over the proposal, but I didn't do anything with the ranking.
So, at the end,
Yeah, I didn't do any, like, put any numbers in there or anything.
okay. So maybe if we can take a few minutes and everybody put numbers in.
Yeah,
And
I
they-
provided the scoring sheet just for you guys to reference during discussion, or if you wanted to use it, so.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I'm not comfortable, necessarily trying to rank or score the budget and total cost without, there's some open-endedness in that, so I can't really.
Without what?
There's an open-endedness in this budget that I'm not sure how to rank.
So,
I think it's fine, I just think I'll be withholding a number until we can have more of a discussion on it.
okay, so, if we were to ask them for additional information, what would we ask them?
Well,
for?
no, I mean, so, field investigations is the, it's optional. They give us 2.2 through 2.6 with a figure, which I'm not finding a problem with that figure, but then it says, oh, and then we have field investigations are optional, and I'm not so sure that they should be optional. Up to a point, I think we should request a certain number, and maybe we need to discuss what that number should be to come up with what our bottom line budget's gonna be.
And I raised the same issue when I talked to Rob Mora.
Mhm.
I said I thought we should put in for 3 days, and then if we don't use them, don't use them. He said, we can't do it that way. He said, what we have to do is accept the total of 17,955. And when we do the natural resource chapter for the master plan, that's when we would do the field work, additional field work.
But the field work would only be done if it met the stipulations noted here.
Right.
Are you going to ask, sorry, are we just looking this over now and then you're gonna ask for, like, general discussion, or should we just pop up for now?
We can have discussion now, that's
Okay.
fine.
So for me, that too ties into the, where they're saying, like, field investigations, March through July. I'm not thinking, or April through July. I'm not completely comfortable with, what they outlined as potential field investigations, and so I guess that, I
Great.
guess when we, oh,
I'm sorry, go ahead, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I guess when we formulate our vote to accept that, if we're gonna accept this or not, we should somehow in that, motion mention field investigate, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, this is not a motion I'm making it right now, but I'm just saying, move to, accept the proposal at 17,955 with the understanding that there may be additional costs at a later date. I'm just trying to say, just so that it somehow gets recorded. And if the field investigations are gonna be at our discretion or at public discretion, that's what you read, right, Jen? That it could be either on page, well, I guess they're not numbered here. Field investigations on part 6, page 12. It's important to note field investigations will be undertaken if requested, funding is available at municipal-owned parcels, or if individual property owners provide written consent granting access to their land for this purpose, so,
Yeah, I was curious about the if requested by us, whom are we referencing there?
Okay, I think, Gray, do you have the RFP?
Like the actual RFP that was posted?
Right.
Yes, I have it on my computer, yes, in my office.
Can you call it up now?
I
I-
might be able to. Let
I
me see.
think that they responded to the RFP. So I think that, and
that way,
I think we wrote it that way,
okay.
and they responded to the RFP and said, you know, if you guys want field work, we'll do field work.
Are you saying, you wanna pull up the RFP to confirm that, basically you're saying that you could request areas for them to go survey?
Yeah, I mean, I think.
I believe that is what was finalized in the RFP, yes, that you could request specific sites for them to walk.
Right, we specifically asked them to do, computer
GIS work,
GIS
as
studies.
well as some, site walks if requested.
Right.
Yeah.
So they responded to what we asked for,
Yep.
and now,
Oh, it's just,
and that's why I thought that if what we did is we put a 3 days in the field to the budget, and I think that Rob's suggestion was that if we get to the point where we need to have that field work done, that we amend the contract. But since they responded to our RFP, we should accept the 17,955, and then if in the future we decide, or after doing what they do, or we look at it and we say, we would like you to investigate, as an example, the Pickle Pond area. And the specific, this is what we want you to look at, and this is what we're curious about, or this is what we would.
Right.
And then, so it's a targeted, it's not like an open-ended, we want you to do field work.
Right.
Okay. And what part of the city?
Right. And that could be a discussion that you have when you come in with your list of selected areas, during a meeting with them, or we could write something up to have it in writing and send it to them. As kind of a response to the proposal.
Right. So we've left it pretty broad, and
Mhm.
then when we start getting information, we can target areas if we want to.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's fine.
does that make sense, Lisa?
Sure. What do you want, I was gonna make a motion to accept this at the dollar level. What do you wanna do with these sheets? Do these need to
Okay,
be?
so I think what we have to do is, we have to, okay, we can do it that way. We can accept it and then open up the public hearing so that we have, anybody who wants to make a comment,
Do-
we have to have the public hearing.
Do we need, how do we want to incorporate, are these going to be incorporated as a legal part of this meeting? Or is this just a worksheet that we're supposed to hand in?
So that is the worksheet that's more for purchasing, for Gina to be able to keep on file with this proposal.
So this,
So we just need one copy filled out. You don't all have to necessarily fill it out, but just kind of generally as a consensus, how have you scored this, proposal?
so you need one sheet that has all our scores together.
If you guys want to, we can kind of do it however you want. So, everyone could kind of write down their own scoring for it, and then we could find a consensus out of those 4 scores, or you can kind of group decide and assign a score for each category.
Well, pardon me if I'm being thick, but we only have one proposal in front of us, right?
Right.
So we're not comparing stuff, so
Correct.
it's like, I think maybe we just turn these in so she has them as a record,
Yes.
that we scored
Yes.
them.
Right.
Alright, so,
But we only need to turn in one.
Yeah.
well, alright, do I need to make a motion to that effect?
I don't think so.
I'll just leave it out of the, okay.
Yeah, you guys can just decide however you want to go about deciding the scoring, and then just provide me with a copy. I'll send it back to Gina. So, because you can see at the bottom it just says return to purchasing, so she just needs to keep a copy of it. But yeah,
I think that this scoring documents that we looked at the proposal and then compared the proposal to what we were looking for, and
Yeah.
so that we demonstrate that, A, we've looked at the proposal,
right.
and B, that we understand that they have professional and technical expertise, as an example.
So, Mr. Chair, can we have a consensus that we will hand these in our individual sheets to Gray, and that Gray will maybe compile them and present them to purchasing? Is that-
We can either do it that way, or we can agree that what we're going to have, and then just give him, like, I scored them.
I did too, I'm just wondering
Okay.
what to do with the sheet.
And I'm saying that, so,
Okay, yeah, if you've already all scored them, I can just take them all. I'll just record the average
okay,
Okay.
all
for
right,
all the 4 of
Okay.
you, and then
all right,
turn that in. Easy.
that's what we'll do.
Cool.
I move that we accept the proposal submitted by FB Environmental to perform a natural resources inventory for the city of Laconia, New Hampshire, with a service estimated budget of $17,955, with the understanding that field investigations are optional at an additional cost at a later date.
I second that.
Okay, I would just like to add, this is natural resource inventory update. And they gave us, my interpretation is, this is a lump sum budget of $17,955. Does not include any field work, but there is an option for us to request field work. Right? Is that what you mean?
I thought what I said was that I moved that we accept the proposal, or
Right.
whatever I said, with the, with the figure of 17,955, with the understanding that there is an
Right.
option for additional field
Right.
work at for a field investigation at additional costs at a later date, is what I
Right.
said.
Right.
So amend my motion to include the word update.
Okay. Okay,
Second it again, I guess.
I'll second that.
okay. Any additional comments? Okay. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right, so I think what we need to do is we need to do the public meeting now. Public hearing.
Let them in.
Let 'em in. Is the door locked? Unlocked? Okay, so under RSA 675:7, we have to have the Laconia Conservation Commission needs to have a public hearing for the expenditure of $17,955 in the interest of gathering information about real property in the city of Laconia. And this is, so there was a public notice posted for the natural resource inventory, and the RFP number was P 25-08-08, and it was posted, I believe, August 4th.
Not August.
Or was it?
Are you talking about the actual proposal?
No, the
RFP?
RFP,
Okay, yes, August, sorry.
August 4th,
Yes,
right?
correct.
And proposals were due September 5th, and FB Environmental of Portland, Maine was the lowest bidder. So, so the public meeting was started, the public hearing was started on 6/28, and since there are no comments, this public hearing is closed 6:30 on October 1st. The Conservation Commission has voted to accept FB Environmental's proposal and is filling out the ranking sheets that will be submitted to Gray Draper for him to compile those scorings, and he'll return the scorings to Gina Mastiff?
Mastine.
Mastiff?
Mastine.
Okay. All right. Any additional comments? Okay, so this is not part of the public hearing, but Gray, can you get clarification from Rob and Tyler about how we select sites to be investigated, and then how do we get funds from the conservation budget to pay for those? Like, do we need to have another public meeting, public hearing, or? The other thing is, now that we've had the public hearing and we've approved the selection of FB Environmental, who's going to notify them so that we can get started? Because it's going to take them a year to do this, according to their schedule.
So you're asking who contacts FB to let them know that we can move forward? So Gina, I think, is involved in the final contract process, but I also am planning on reaching out to them since we've been in contact for other projects. So since we're so closely involved on this one, I thought we should probably have a point of contact over there. And it's nice that they included their staff in the proposal as well. There's the Christine is the GIS specialist on their team. So I am gonna reach out and kind of, once you guys pick out what areas you might like them to go boots on the ground for, I kind of want to pick her brain about how they survey with GIS. So yeah, I plan on reaching out and kind of starting the conversation there.
Okay, so you're gonna use Christina as the point of contact.
I don't know if she's gonna be my first point of contact, but eventually I hope to kind of pick her brain. So, the first one is, what's his name? The owner.
Forrest Bell.
Bell.
Forrest. That's what it was. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna reach out to Forrest, in the office this week.
I think the other option would be Laura Deemer.
Yeah, so Laura, who we already talked to for the water quality, I could talk to her as well, so options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what other projects do we have with them?
The water buoy,
Right.
and then, well, I guess it's not really our project, but, Langley. Are they doing work with FB in the state to fix up the little bridge there with the culvert they have?
The state is working with FB. You said-
Okay, yeah. The
Oh,
state
no,
is
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, so I heard FB was involved in it, and then the state just dredged out under the bridge. Who was telling me that over there? But either way, I heard that FB was working on a project with that. So, but we ourselves have the buoy in this.
Okay, one of the things I would like to do is talk to them about doing Langley Brook. You know, they did Langley Brook with Lake Winnipesaukee Alliance,
Yeah.
so that we could, and, you know, what needs to be done on each of the 8 locations where there were issues, and, you know, so I think that if we could do a site visit with them and walk the brook, have them show us the 8 locations with, and potential solutions for the erosion that's taking place at each one of those locations.
Yeah.
So we can come up with a cost estimate to rectify, you know, those problems. And then, so then we would have to do another RFP and use conservation funds to.
Yeah.
That's what my vision is, but, you know, I don't know what other people think.
No, I'm willing to support that, Mr. Chair.
I
So-
think it makes sense.
So, you know, the residents around Langley Cove submitted a proposal to DES to dredge Langley Cove. And DES said, no, you can't do that until you do a survey of Langley Brook, find out where the problem areas are so you can stop the erosion before you dredge, which is like, anyway. So that's why the study was done, and now the question is, how can we get to the next level so we can start addressing these problems? And then who's gonna pay for it? So, we probably should get Lake Winnipesaukee Alliance involved too, since they were the ones who got the grant,
Right.
I think. Were they the ones that got the grant to do
That
the?
rings a bell, but I mean, I'm remembering Pat coming and talking to us about that.
Right,
So I thought
right.
I thought that's right.
Yeah. Okay, so.
I thought it was Bree Rossiter who had originally told me that DES had come back and said you can't dredge until you do X, Y, Z.
Right.
She's with LWA, so.
Right.
Right.
The Pat I referred to was the previous executive director. Did you know that? I mean, I didn't know if I.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know whether Pat is still the executive director or if the new guy is.
Oh, I
What's
thought
Pat's last name?
Tarpey.
Yes. Okay.
I
Familiar.
got an email. I thought he'd already started. I could be wrong. But
I think you're right, but I don't know, I know there's a, anyway, okay. Okay,
Isn't there a newer development right there too, though? Right at where
Yeah.
that is?
yeah, it's,
Well, you're asking about the Langley Cove?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's Brady Sullivan,
yeah,
and is a residential project. It's pretty big. Yeah. We just call it Langley, or Busby.
just what?
We call it either Langley or Busby, because Busby is the company that's
Right.
doing everything.
But I think we need to coordinate also with Prescott Farm, because they own part of the brook.
Mm.
I don't know the brook, they own part of the land that abuts the brook, and so, anyway, okay. All right, let's,
I have a question that's, probably just because I mean, I don't know the process. But is there a process, I guess, because one of the stipulations for the field investigations is the written consent granting access to land? Is there already like a process, and who follows through with that? Is that the city or?
Go ahead, do you wanna answer that? I was just gonna say what I've done in the past.
Okay, yeah, I wanna hear you first.
So in stream restoration projects, we've been doing, partnering with the Conservation Commission, so this is a little separate, but, so it was the contractor, the Conservation Commission pulled together the, addresses needed, like the addresses, and the, Conservation Commission sent out the letters asking the abutters a consent form to sign off on it, and we had then passed those on to the contractor, which would be environmental. So that's how we handled it as
Okay.
like a third party. So that, I am assuming that what we would do, Dean, in this case, is we would, because of staff, we would probably turn to staff and say, you know, could you pull this information together? And the letter would come from us, but it would be staff helping us put
Right.
that out.
right, I mean, it's the same thing that we do when we do a conservation easement walk. Gray contacts the landowner and says, we would like to come and walk your land, and depending on the landowner, sometimes like when Bob had owned his easement that's up on White Oaks Road, Bob would come with us, and he would show us, you know, these are the boundaries, and so that we can, because we're walking the boundaries on his land, he would come with us. And when we did Aqua Vista would send a representative to walk with us. So it's, you know, it's what we do so that we don't get in trouble, you know, so we don't
Right.
enter private property without authorization or approval, whatever.
Yeah, the other thing, Mr. Chair, is that oftentimes what the Van County Conservation District does is have a public meeting, like on site somewhere, and invite landowners to come and meet with the like a representative of the consulting party, and just kind of an outdoor. And sometimes we do a walk, like if there's a particularly difficult or interesting part of the project, we would take them, the landowners, given permission, the people who are interested in a walk. I'm just throwing that out there.
And that's a good point, because what we're doing is in those meetings, we're explaining why we're there and what we're looking for, so that the landowner has a clear understanding of what we're doing. We're not coming to take anything, you know, if we're gonna take samples, we need to tell them we're gonna take samples, just like when we were doing Pickerel Pond, we had to take samples of the monitoring wells to make sure that they were not contaminated.
Right.
So we had to get permission from the landowner to sample their wells, and then, actually, we didn't do the sampling, we had a consultant come and do the sampling. So, I think Lisa makes a really good point that, because I've been to some of those public meetings, and there are like maybe 3 or 4 people there, but at least the landowner has a clear understanding of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and who's going to do it, so.
At the the city, we have a butters process anyways. Usually Savannah's doing it for planning board applications, but I will just do it for this. Probably a hybrid of that and what Lisa was explaining that she's familiar with. But on GIS, I can pull up the abutters for the lands you're interested in. So if you guys could, I don't know how you want to do it, if you want to do it maybe at next meeting or this meeting, but come up with a short list of areas you think potentially you might want to give FB as sites to go walk. Because then I can kind of start the project of just pulling up an abutters list for each of those. And I think it probably would go out as a mail or, certified mail.
So I think we ought to not do that until we meet with them.
Yes.
Because they have listed that they'll have 3 in-person meetings with us. The first one would be a kickoff meeting to explain
Right.
how they're gonna do.
They might come in and be like, these are the ones we have that we're
Right.
suggesting we want to do.
And I don't know whether, are we gonna ask them to come here for the meeting? Or are we gonna do a Zoom meeting with them?
I believe they have an office in maybe Dover.
Yeah,
It says virtual.
Yeah, we had put virtual when we did the RFP. We could do either, whatever you prefer, whatever they feel like doing as well. But virtual is always an option too. I don't know.
I think the in-person meeting, I prefer to have an in-person meeting. However, from Portland, it's 2 hours each direction,
Right.
right? Would it take you?
Yeah, I just did it today. It took me a little over 2 hours to
Yeah.
go one way.
Yeah, so it's 2 hours, so it's gonna take a whole day for them to have a
Right.
meeting with us, and that may not be the best use of our money.
Right.
We might be better off just, I mean, I've been in meetings with Forrest, with Sarah Sullivan, who's the project manager, and with Christine. So, I met them in person, so it's like, I feel comfortable with them and doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how other people feel. I mean, what do you think, Jen?
I think exactly what you said. I mean, I think having an in-person meeting is, I don't necessarily want to say more productive, but sometimes it's just easier to get the point across.
Right.
You know, sometimes with Zoom, it's hard because you get, you know,
Yeah.
like, things sometimes get sort of lost. I hate to say lost in translation, but kind of lost in translation. But I also agree that it's not like it's, 15 minutes away. It's 2 hours one way. So, and it's probably not the most cost-effective way to do things. So I think the next best option is virtual.
The other thing we could do is ask them if they're gonna be down here on another project. I don't know, what do you think, Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they are active enough in the area that it's quite possible that we could find dates in common that they're already gonna be around. And I don't know if we want to try to hold this, like, if they say, well, we can't do any night meetings or whatever, if we'd be amenable to meeting during the day for a special meeting or something, But, I think that's a good idea to just ask them, when are you gonna be around? Does it make sense to try to match up? And they may offer to be here, so.
What do you think, Bob?
Well, I don't know, if we could find a time when they were gonna be in the area, that would work.
I wonder too if they have, like if we want to do a little bit of groundwork ahead of time, to put maybe a quick article in the e-news and maybe the Daily Sun about, so we took this action to vote to have an update of the NRI done. This is what an NRI is, and these are our quick next steps. We don't have to talk specifically about any particular sites we wanna, target, but we could just say that the Conservation Commission is undertaking, having an update to the natural resources inventory, and we voted to, consult with FB Environmental. Like I think I already said, just outline what an NRI is, and more information to come or whatever, and that way, I think it might lessen any, and I don't even think it's gonna be concerns, but if we just do a virtual meeting the first time, it might lessen any concerns that somebody may come up with, we didn't know any of this was going on, you know what I mean?
Okay, I think that's, that's a really good idea, to reach out to the public so they know what we're doing.
Yeah.
They know why we're doing it. And the one question I have is, in particular, the state school property. When they do the NRI, that will be, that's, I think, probably the biggest chunk of undeveloped land in the city.
So that may be one of the ones that we want to have a field, boots on the
Field
ground.
study,
Well, I guess my question is, and this is for Rob and Tyler, can we do that? Can we include this and then have boots on the ground?
I think it would be the same as the other properties where if you can get the owner of the state school, which now is the new owner, if you can get their permission, I don't see why not. I think it would be treated as just any other property.
They may have already had some sort of natural resources inventory done as part of their spec to purchase the property too.
I think they have. And I know that there are bird surveys that have been done there.
I know there are surveys on the books during their last presentation that I saw, and they were like, these surveys are going to be, available, so I don't know if they're complete yet or not, but.
I think we need to go back to the minutes of that meeting on the state school property, because I think that there was somebody in the audience who requested a natural resource inventory, in particular wildlife inventory of the property. And if there was, and they're doing it, then we need a copy.
Yep. And it sounded to me like that was coming down the pipeline at the time that we were being told about it. So we should find a way to check in and see if that's available yet.
And then Ahern,
Yeah.
right there, and then the,
We've not done a natural resources inventory on that parcel, the OPG parcel. We haven't done one.
And that's state forest, so I don't know how that works, if we need to get state permission.
no, Lisa's talking about the
Gray's right.
community garden.
Well, Gray's right, the title of that parcel is the Opeechee Bay State Forest, even though half of it's hayfield.
Yeah.
We're talking about the community garden?
Yeah, that whole parcel is 48 acres,
Right.
and 18 of it or 20 of it is hayfield, and the rest of it is that woodland.
Right,
So I think that's what he was
right,
saying.
but then there's also an Opeechee Bay State Forest that is, abuts, Long Bay.
Yeah, there's a couple like little state forests all up in that area, as you go out to, Pickerel. Yeah. When you look at the Granite View map, yeah, there's like 2 or 3 out there. They're pretty small.
Eustis, and then isn't there Daisy?
Oh, I'm sorry?
I'm just, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't wanna, I'm sorry, I was just kind of thinking about which those were.
Plus-
Doesn't matter.
Plus, we have Pickerel Pond and the Fuller property at Pickerel Pond, and we have Bruce Cheney's property. That's 55 acres. Bruce
Right.
Cheney has.
Yeah.
I think you're talking a whole new proposal here. You got all these
No,
properties.
I mean, in terms of, you know, big tracts of land
Yeah,
that are undeveloped.
well, so they're gonna do a desk, from the desk, NRI, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
they'll include all those, but
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about boots on the ground, because we started off the conversation with boots on the ground.
Sorry, I got,
Okay, I was like,
my boots got off track.
okay, all right.
You got Houston, Morgan. We got Prescott State Forest, Pueblo Farm, and then Paugus Bay State Forest.
Yeah.
So
But-
that one's the Paugus Bay State, and then though Peachy is across from.
And we have Rice, the Rice easement.
Well, those are different.
Then there's down on the top of Winnisquam, we have Swain State Forest.
That's the
Mhm.
one I was thinking of, Swain.
Yep.
Then there's Opeachy, and then you start to go up. There's Hamel State Forest as well.
I think,
Yeah.
you know, probably the first thing that they could do, that FB could do, is to take a look at that, whatever direction. I'm saying it's north because everything up is north, no matter where I'm standing. That whole northern section of the city. You know, let's, you know, and you can probably do that, Greg. You could probably print out a map that says, these are state-owned, county-owned, privately held, you know, just, and give us a map that shows, you probably just call it up on the computer right now and look at it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Right?
On the state forest service maps, forest and lands. Yeah, there's like 8. It feels like all up. Out of all of Laconia, like 6 of them are up there. That strip.
And
So,
several of them, I think, have management agreements for the hayfields anyway, with different, either 1 or 2 different farmers or entities to manage those, to, like for the hayfields.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what work Dancer has done to inventory what they have on those parcels. I'm just saying, so, no, I'm just saying that's probably an email to Dancer. And
Dancer?
Department of Cultural and Natural Resources.
Oh,
It
yeah,
used to be
okay,
DRED,
okay,
and
okay.
so, I don't, I think there are different, like the person that, when Bob Hardy retired, they gave me a different contact for the parcel we manage. So I don't know if it's all the same person for all the parcels, or if it's different people. I can, see if I can, oh, I can't, because of the federal shutdown, I can't get into my computer, sorry. I would just contact them and ask who.
So maybe what we can do is just ask Ray to print out a map of the city.
The one that's missing.
it's still in my office. I have my copy. Yeah. You want me to bring it up and we can mark off?
I think that if we can just mark off, maybe you could color code, state-owned, county-owned, easements, privately held. You know, just do 4 or 5, you can probably think of some other ones, 4 or 5 or 6 general categories, color code them so that we can look at it and say, okay, like there's a piece of property on Lexington that is privately held, it's like 20 acres. We contacted the guy, see if he would sell it to us, and he wouldn't. You know, it's undeveloped, it's across from the housing that's there.
Is it, I think it's like behind, I'm trying to think of the name of that road. It's like this, behind that little dead end road where there's like a few condos that I think is actually part of Wildwood, but it's
I think you're
kinda
right.
separate,
Yeah.
cause there is like,
By Wildwood,
Hmm?
by Wildwood.
I think it's like technically part of Wildwood. I think the road, is it Iroquois Lane? Or, I can't think of it. Anyway, it's like kind of across from New Hampshire Ball Bearing.
It's near your house, right?
I have a different undeveloped lot behind my house. I'm looking at the map now. I don't see like an empty lot. There's a lot of undeveloped space. Is that factory that's back there? Oh no, it's behind the prison. No. Anyways, I'll look more at it later, but,
Okay, I mean, I think that if you could just do a simple, whatever number of categories you can think of, 5 categories, color-coded so that we have a map.
I think, yeah, I have something that's halfway there
Yeah.
already, so
Yeah,
just dive back into it.
Mr. Chair, it's reminding me, I had given you a map of all city-owned parcels. Do you still have that?
yes.
Okay. As long as we know where it is.
And, but that's really important too.
Well,
What
you-
are the city-owned
Well,
properties?
you listed it.
Yeah,
You did.
okay, I'll bring it down to you at some point, Greg.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul,
After I plan all these plans.
Paul and DPW did it.
Yeah, yeah, Paul has some good,
Yeah,
good maps. Which one did you just bring to me that I made copies of? Was that the city
oh,
owned
thank
one?
you, thank you, oh, thanks.
What-
Okay, so I think that if we just have a, you know, a starting point that we can give to FB Environmental, I mean, the more we do, the less it's, you know, the better product we're gonna get because they won't have to do it. Okay, so everybody do their rankings and so we can give them to Greg. There's
I
one.
didn't do mine, but I don't really have,
Hmm?
I don't really have anything to add.
Oops. Thank you.
One thing I noticed is, I don't know if it's a satellite office in Dover, is that a place where they might be, have a presence on a regular basis?
I think so. I think they list it as a,
If we were looking for a face-to-face meeting, it'd be best, if they're gonna be in Dover at that time.
it's a good idea. Yeah. Okay, so I was going through my files and I didn't digitize anything. 'Cause I don't know how. But this is a map
Yes.
Thank you.
of the aquifers.
Do you have one, Greg?
Here's,
Yes.
I'm gonna get,
I
you
do.
need one?
No, I'm good. I memorized it.
Oh, you did? Must have been a bad day. Nobody played basketball?
Not that night.
Okay, so we had talked about doing some sort of an aquifer, coming up with a aquifer protection district. So this is from the computer, and it shows in kind of a orangish tan color where the aquifers are. And I I would think that the aquifers are much more, this must be the shallow aquifers. Lisa, what's the name of that groundwater company in Meredith? Garrett? So I don't know where this map came from, except it was in my,
It looks like you went on the city tax map and did a layer. This-
I didn't do it.
Oh, well, so what-
Somebody did it and gave it to me.
CAI Technologies, along with a Laconia stamp on it, usually, I could be wrong, but if you go on to, like, go to assessing and tax maps or whatever, and you see, it's like that software that has all the tax information also has layers. That's one of the icons on the side. You can pick and
Right.
select layers. I'm guessing that's where this came from based on the, but I could be wrong.
No, okay.
I can also do, I don't know. There's something called Web Soil Survey that I utilize, and the primary function is if landowners come in and want me to run maps on their, on a parcel, and and I could identify the boundaries just of the city, and I would run, I don't have one to show you, I apologize. I could run a map saying, show me depth, areas of depth to, on the hydric soils, or depth to water tables, it would be like all color coded, or what are the farm soils. I mean, I've got multiple layers I could run on that and give you multiple reports based on soil types, but I don't know, without a key or something, with a legend or key, I can't really tell you what I'm looking at.
And the other thing, this is only for Laconia, and over in Guilford, at Guilford Block.
Well, I mean, you can see where an aquifer is butting up against the town property line, and where 11C,
Right.
and that Lake Lily Pond 11C, I believe that's kind of an extensive aquifer into Guilford.
Yep. Anyway, we had talked about coming up with some sort of an aquifer protection area. This is, anyway.
So there are also different kinds of aquifers. So like DES has, I think they had done mapping, I don't know if it's been updated, on the stratified drift aquifers. So I mean, knowing what, I'm sorry, I guess, knowing what kind of aquifer we're talking about, we might have representation of 2 or 3 different kinds of aquifers on this, I don't know.
That's right. I don't know what,
So I think the homework is to find out what DES has, because they have in their wet water department, I think they have specifics on aquifers. We could run aquifer information from a couple of different sources and compare them. Greg, what do you guys do any of that, or would that be?
No, that's not us. Aquifers, I'm not sure if that would be DPW or water.
I'm guessing it might, well, we could start with DPW, because that's where they've
Yeah.
got the guys that, or did at one time, that were the Ezra and all that other stuff, so.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's what I would do, Dean. I'm just saying, is I would get 2 or 3 different sources, probably 3, to run as aquifer maps for the city of Laconia. Or if you want to define, if you want to make this square your area of interest, that's what they call it, at least in the software I'm using. If you want to make this whole thing your area of interest, you can ask them to run it on that.
and so on Long Island, New York, there we used to deal with 3 levels of aquifer, and they were separated by layers of clay.
Mm.
And so the top one was contaminated because of philosophy of out of sight, out of mind, and dumping chemicals. And then there was a layer of clay, and then below that, there was the drinking water aquifer, and then there was one even further down that was not to be impacted, to keep it for the future.
I don't know what DES has in terms of known and contaminated aquifers. They may
Yeah.
have information. Like I said, the only thing I've been exposed to, and it's been a little while with DES, is the different kinds of aquifers. Like, is it a perched aquifer? Is it a
Right.
stratified drift aquifer? Is it,
Right.
So that would be helpful, but I don't know. They may have information on contaminated aquifers. I believe, I could be wrong, but the aquifer under the airport,
It's contaminated.
I believe there's some known factor of contamination there, but I can't tell you,
Right. So DES is working, right?
Yeah,
Even though the government shut
the
down.
the federal shutdown, my understanding is, and I could be wrong, because information's coming out all day, it's different, and so, that it affects federal employees. How it affects me is I have a federal computer, I can't open it, it's locked up now. And some grants are,
Stop.
stop all work and, don't submit any, reimbursement invoice, statements or any of that stuff. Right now,
Right.
that's my understanding. I have also been told, because this has a different flavor to it than other shutdowns, and President Trump has said there may be firings. My understanding is that is down the road, that people, there wasn't something that happened today
Right.
relative to that. So I do believe that people who, like myself, have some connection to federal employees are still working, because we're just not touching that part of it, but we're doing other things. So I'm imagining that DES, there may be a few employees or interns that are federally funded that aren't there, but I don't believe, a whole department's gonna go away.
Okay. Other business, any other business?
Just reminding you, the November 1st, the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions, if you go on their website, you can register now. Gray, I registered, and for the option of bill me later, so I will get something I'll get something to the city as a reimbursement or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. And so, Jen, you wanted to talk about what you and I talked about?
I guess, just about the different options. I was just talking to Dean about the different options, because I feel like I wanna go to all of them.
Oh,
Um,
offerings that day, yeah.
Yeah, so I checked the schedule on the website, and they just all sound super interesting, so I was just asking Dean, like, how you go about, I guess, choosing which ones to attend, but he also mentioned that they're recorded, so if there's something that you want to attend, but at the same time as something else, then we can go back and watch them later.
Some of them are recorded. I haven't attended the planning meetings on the annual meeting with the organization, but sometimes they are recorded, and if the presenter allows it. Other times, when you fill it out, it will say how many seats remaining, kind of thing. But I think on that day, it's still obvious that people bounce around a bit.
But what I thought we have done in the past is,
Talked about
Lisa,
it.
which ones are you going to?
I don't remember what I
Deb,
signed
which
up for.
you going to?
Yeah.
So that we cover as many as we can.
but I don't remember what I signed up for.
So,
So it's possible though that it's not necessarily set in stone if you say that when you register, you're going to these events and then that day you maybe change your mind.
So
then it's-
what could influence it is if there's a really popular one and you walk in and there aren't any seats left and the fire marshal would say this exceeds the room capacity, you might miss out on handouts. If the presenter expects 25 people and all of a sudden there's, 35 there, you might not get all the handouts. But that's sometimes, the executive director will have gotten those as a PDF and can present them later if you've missed them. Yeah, and I apologize, I don't remember what I signed up for, so I can't
Yeah.
tell you.
but you can move around it. Anyway.
Not- I wouldn't advertise that as the, hey, yeah, no, don't worry about it, but at the same time, I would just say, I know that it happens.
But
Yeah.
I think for me, it's that I want, like, I mean, they all sound interesting, and I obviously know that I can't attend all of them, so.
The ones that are, I think, do they have like a fundamentals one, the 101?
Yeah.
Those people have said have been helpful. There's also, and I meant to ask Barbara about this when I saw her on Saturday, but there's that handbook. And I think it's what, $25 or $30. I can't remember how much they're charging.
I think it said something about if you attend that session,
You get one
you
free.
get one for free.
Yeah, that handbook has been informative for people, and I almost wanted to buy one for myself just because it's been so long since I've seen the other edition that I got when I started. So
That one I was definitely thinking about attending just because I feel like it probably would be like really helpful for me. So I probably would sign up. I mean, I haven't registered yet, so but that's something I was considering. Probably
Yeah.
my number one, just because it would
Yeah.
make sense.
I
Unless
can-
you had said it wasn't a very good seminar then.
no, I'm just saying so I haven't attended it, and of course it changes as we get different presenters, but it, consistently, what I have seemed to have heard in like the lunchroom and stuff like that was, oh, I'm so glad I went to that one. I can send Gray, I can check to see if Barbara can, or somebody can tell me what I signed up for, and let you guys know, just so you know. I can't get into that computer now, and I don't remember, so I can't tell you.
okay, but we'll try to coordinate. Okay, any other business? Okay, staff report.
Okay, so in honor of Deb being in Africa, I will be reading her usual other business announcements.
Her what?
Her usual other business announcements.
Deb gave herself homework. Okay.
New Hampshire Lakes presentation on cyanobacteria will be October 15th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions annual meeting, November 1st at Brook Academy. Easement Monitoring Field Skills Workshop, September 26th, and NHACC Lunch and Learn Recycling Series, September 23rd. Aside from that, staff report, things were pretty quiet this week. Like I said, we were out of office this morning, so really just working on digitalizing stuff. Haven't gotten any complaints, no DES permits. Yeah. But no news is good news right now, so hopefully we'll get some rain.
What's gonna happen with all the pumpkins from Pumpkin Fest? Are they composting them? Are they feeding them to animals? Or what's gonna happen with those?
That's a great question, but I know someone involved in Pumpkin Fest if you want to throw some ideas their way.
I was just curious. So, we're not doing anything for Pumpkin Fest at all? Like,
Who?
us, like, as a group? Are there opportunities for?
Oh,
Anything?
well, I heard there were some jobs that they might they're like, if you're interested in working Pumpkin Fest, we will be letting you know what we need help with and what shifts they are. They sent that out to city employees, so I'm sure also as city board members and commission members that it's extended to you as well. So I'll learn soon, but
We should
Yeah.
have, we should have T-shirts made.
It's-
Conserve, I don't
it's-
know, some Pumpkin Fest T-shirts for the Conservation Commission, I'm kidding, but
it'd be pretty cool.
I was being funny, kind of, but.
What do
It's
you
just
think?
Some exposure for the Conservation
Yeah.
Commission. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's
No.
your report.
So
I think.
there are going to be booths, right?
I believe so. I don't see why Conservation Commission couldn't break
I
out the
think-
table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did we talk to Amy about that? Amy Levisik?
So it's Amy, but then Savannah's also helping with a bunch of stuff, and Rob's involved. I don't know if that's just because he's a department head or he has a specific role, but yeah, I'd start with Amy and probably CC Savannah.
Why don't we start with Savannah?
Okay.
And see what, because she must know.
Yeah, she's in all the meetings and stuff.
Yeah,
and-
so why don't you ask her what we need to do to get a booth?
All right.
And then we need to have something to hand out at the booth. Maybe what we do is hand out summaries of the current NRI. Or maybe just an outline of what the NRI includes, what's in a natural resource chapter of the master plan. And just something simple, see if we can't get some volunteers.
You know what? I bet they're gonna send you straight to Nancy because I helped Nancy make copies of. She made the map of all the vendors and their tables around downtown. So
Put
we'll
us next
see.
to somebody interesting, okay?
Yeah, we'll put you
We don't
right
wanna
on
get
Main
like-
Street.
We don't wanna get like next to the porta potties or anything like that.
Most popular spot in town.
What?
The most popular spot in town, the port next to the porta potties. There's a lot of traffic, is what I meant. We could also have information on composting, like what to do with your pumpkin. And I've already sort of written up something about not putting your grass clippings and leaves in those streams. It's on my computer that I can't get into, but, I can recreate it. But, you know, we can have some of those basic housekeeping things too to hand out. And, never hurts to get out candy.
What?
It never hurts to give out candy,
Never hurts.
Yeah.
or having something there.
That's only if you can
Trick
get
or
it.
treating.
What?
You'll be like the trick or treat booth, and kids will come over, and then you'll talk to their parents and be like, "Hey, we're doing an NRI. Do you know of any lands that might be cool for us to check out?"
So the other thing we can do is have quiz.
Yeah.
What do you do with your grass clippings? I put them in the garbage. No, that's not what you do.
Or you have a picture of Bittersweet. Have you ever seen this?
Well,
Where have you seen this last?
That's, you know, but that, first things first, don't quiz people, because they don't know.
But if you want a piece of candy, you gotta
No,
take the quiz.
no,
Yay.
No, because you don't wanna turn people off. Just give them the information.
They just have to say trick or treat and then.
Or something, yeah, something, but it brings up an interesting point. I was at, what's the flower store, Prescott's, in the train station, is that Prescott?
Prescott's.
Yeah, and I looked up and they had 5 wreaths that were like bittersweet berries. I asked, I said, are those real? And just, no, they're silk. And I was like, okay. I didn't go into like, geez, I really wish you'd promote that look, but I'm just saying, that might be another thing to put out in our booth, just about, if you have these wreaths and they're real, how to properly dispose of them, because those berries are just gonna, I'm just saying, that's another thing, so that's not wrong, that, what Greg was saying. You know, if you have bittersweet, because a lot of people, that's how they ended up with bittersweet around their house, was they bought one of those stupid wreaths and put it on their door.
Yeah, and it's another opportunity to show some of those LWA pictures they sent over on their flyer of the different things that cyanobacteria can look like, and be like, hey, did you see this floating on when you were swimming this summer? Maybe, just an opportunity to get some information out there. Because a lot of people I've talked
A map
to,
of invasives on Taylor community. I don't know if that, you'd be interested in a copy, seeing a copy of that?
If Taylor Community's willing to let it out, yeah.
Well, it's my private thing, I just took a.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that sounds
Okay,
interesting.
yeah,
And thinking of invasive species, I've been noticing that along major arteries, all of the,
Japanese
knotweeds, clumps, are being mowed around.
No, just,
We're gonna put Christmas decorations on them.
That's like there's a business, I think it's at one of the dog sitting businesses, anyway, on 106.
Yeah.
They perfectly manicured lawn, and they have an autumn olive near their mailbox that I think they think is lovely.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
they
yeah.
manicure around it and everything, and they've left this autumn olive, and I'm
Yeah,
like, you
yeah.
don't know? So,
Okay, all right, so find out the Pumpkin Fest booth, please.
yeah. I'll get you right next to the stage.
What?
I'll get you right next to the stage.
oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have to get pumpkin-shaped earmuffs.
You'd
I
be
do
wearing
think
it.
it's a good idea, though. I think if you're the table that's like, hey, you want a piece of candy, when like everyone's walking by, you might get some conversation. Hey, maybe you'll find another commission member.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
So, wait a minute, how did we find Jen?
Yeah. How did we find Jen?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I just saw something in the paper and then I looked into it and then I applied.
Wow. We gotta keep using the Laconia Daily Sun.
I like Lisa's idea about what people are doing with the pumpkins afterwards, though, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of like I know like Miles Smith Farm,
Mm.
they take pumpkins for the cattle and stuff, and I'm sure there's other farms that do that too.
Yeah, and like at Christmas time, the Christmas trees, they feed them to goats and stuff like that, so.
So, you know, if you come, well, in the past, if you come down here early in the morning on, like, the Saturday of Pumpkin Fest, maybe Friday too, Friday and Saturday, you come, there are tables set up with pumpkins, people carving them. And then they have a roll-off that they throw all the pumpkin guts into. And then I thought those were going to one of the farms for the cows to eat, or goats, or pigs.
All of the above.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that would be a good use for them,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
New staff report item.
Oh, wait a minute, wait, I'm sorry, we're past that on?
I don't know exactly all the logistics. It would be something I would have to look into. But does anyone know how to, say, make pumpkin seeds out of the pumpkin guts, where you wash them, salt, and bake? What if you had a bake sale with the pumpkin guts from Pumpkin Fest, and then use the money towards another project or put it into the conservation fund?
Well, I was gonna say, if you wanna direct it to the conservation, I know that Michael Lana, is that his name, Lana, at I think it's Pleasant Street School. He's very interested in getting his kids kind of doing like jams and jellies and kind of the culinary thing.
Yeah.
They might be interested
Oh.
in taking the raw guts, washing them, and toasting the seeds or whatever to sell for their own program, or split with the Conservation Commission.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Pumpkin Fest people would wanna give any money to us, or if they'd say, no, it's our stuff, you can, they wanna do it, they can split it with us, I'm just thinking, but that's, so the food service director, Michael,
Yeah,
might be somebody that would do all that, and he would have the equipment to do it.
yeah. Interesting. Just
Do
not-
you wanna pursue that, or do you want me to ask Carrie at, the SAU office?
Yeah, yeah,
You want me to,
yeah, whoever, I don't even know where to start, but yeah, if any of those people that you
who,
named.
who would I contact for the pumpkin fest that would have the guts? Like, who's doing
Do
the
you know
carving?
who is it that's hauling off these guts? Dean?
Some gutless guy, I don't know.
Who was the person you said that was, maybe if I get in touch with Nancy.
You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll ask
I
Nancy
think
Brown.
whoever's in charge of Pumpkin Fest has to be, there's gotta be a subcommittee on,
Yeah, I'll ask Nancy Brown, but,
you know who else you could ask is Amy Levisik. She's the one doing the advertisements on the radio.
She's
I've-
doing ads on the radio?
You haven't heard about, oh, come on.
I'm out of the loop.
I haven't either.
I find,
Really?
I find getting in touch with Amy, she's just so busy that it's kinda,
You know what? Ask, so her
Lisa,
assistant
there's
is
Lisa and there's Mike.
Lisa, yeah.
Yeah,
Ask her.
okay. Right.
And then she has whoever the assistant is.
Mike
Matt.
Mansour, is
Yeah.
it still,
Too.
Matt
Matt.
Mansour,
Yeah,
yeah.
Matt Manser.
Yeah, okay. Okay, anything else?
No, that's all I got.
Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
What's that, Jen?
I mean, okay, any comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, great, thanks.